Good, good day, good morning, good evening, whatever it is. If you're watching the replay, thanks for joining me. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for joining me too. This was originally recorded on Facebook Live, just so you know, in case I interact with anybody commenting, which you won't see. Sorry. This topic, though, has been bugging me. It hit me yesterday like a pile of bricks, and I was like, oh, I need to talk about this. In my messaging, and I've talked a lot about supporting the feminine, which is what I do, what I actually am hitting today, that was about the relationship-centric area that I specifically work in, but it affects so many people, and this actually could work for men and women, but I want to speak to this point because this came up so vividly for me yesterday. So many people are seeking the one they want, and they will go find a dating coach, love coach, go on Tinder, Match, Pennyfish, all these different places to find that person. And it seems to me, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I am, seems to be that many people, particularly the women I work with, are really looking to achieve the goal of getting to the one, finding their one person, that divine partner, soulmate, twin flame, whatever you want to call that. However, they look at the idea that when they find them, automatically they'll live happily ever after. And sadly, that's not always the case. In fact, rarely is that the case without doing some work. And this is what I want to talk about, because I'm known as the love doctor to my clients and my friends, and I am a relationship attraction expert. However, my work is not primarily to help you get your partner. Oh my God, it's not my thing. What I'm about is helping you be whole. The true work I do with my clients, with a lot of women, is to help them feel whole and to absolutely own who they are. So that way they're not looking to be saved or kept or what's what I'm looking for? Looked after by their partner without doing anything. So when they're out there looking, they're not in the codependent framework. They're not in the seeking to be whole paradigm. They're actually seeking from the wholeness versus to the wholeness, if that makes sense. And so when I'm marketing, I notice my messaging hasn't landed right because people presume that I am a matchmaking type, relationship attraction, because it's in my branding, type person who will get you what you want, and then you're on your own. Which is a joke, to be honest, because once you're in a relationship, that's when all the fun stuff happens. And for those of you who are out there who've been in a relationship, you probably know this, but maybe you've forgotten about it. So I'm just going to remind you of this fact. That being single can be a place of being oblivious. Because when you're in a relationship, all that stuff shows up. The friction, the sandpaper happens. As Lisa Nichols talks about, that lessons in relationships can be like a... I'm sorry, I'm watching the comments go, this is wonderful, thank you. But like Lisa Nichols talks about how relationships can be like gifts wrapped in sandpaper. And that's the thing that happens with people, is that so many people are so focused on getting their relationship, they're not ready to prepare what happens when they get to the relationship. And that's why so many divorces and heartbreak and hurt feelings and discords and all the other things. And it's frustrating to watch. And to be really honest, I'm going to call some people out on this, not personally, but by branding. There are matchmakers out there and dating coaches that don't deal with this. And I feel they're giving a disservice. I'm sorry, folks, but I'm going to be blunt about this. If you are a coach working with clients, and I want to talk about this because what I do with my clients is different. If you are not really helping your clients heal their own stuff, so that way when they enter a relationship, they are whole and really honoring who they are, then you're opening them up to having all their stuff show up when they're in a relationship when you're done working with them. It's kind of like giving somebody a used car and not telling them about the fact that the axle's broken. You know? Not cool. So my work, just to be totally transparent, is largely about helping my clients heal their baggage, releasing their past so they can move forward freely. It's also about teaching them how to honor, respect, and live up to the level that they really are at without them realizing, because they've been told by others they're not as good as they really are. But by having them step into that truth and own their magnificence, that these ladies, particularly because I work with women, will not be jumping into a relationship quickly. Because they will wait for the man who honors them at the level they're now at versus at the level they used to be. Hope you understand that. So as the love doctor, as I'm branded, it is all about love, but not always about just it's easy and it's done and I just find the perfect person that matches you based on your outside criteria, because it's so much more than that. The outside criteria is an indicator. It's like the paint job on a car. But the color may attract you to the car, but driving it's where you find out if it works or not. So why not, before you get in the car, learn to drive properly? This is me using that analogy. This thing is dropping into place, so I'm using the analogy as it fits. It wasn't planned. So when you're out there seeking the one, I really want to inspire, honor you, nudge you, and remind you that just because you meet somebody and there's a good chemistry and there's a good connection and things look good, you don't know what's going to happen until you're 3, 4, 6, 8 months into or years into the relationship. So wouldn't it be smarter, wiser, perhaps a little bit more self-aware to seek counsel first, to prepare yourself for a relationship, not just to find the right mate, but to be the right mate? That's really the message I want to speak to, is you deserve the best relationship, especially when instead of seeking the one, you become the one who is whole. Then you'll see, because like attracts like, the ones out there that are whole. And so you attract two together to be greater than the sum of the parts. Getting philosophical with that one. But the realization and the recognition is that we absolutely have to really own our stuff in the world. This is true in any relationship, really, not just romantic, but for those people seeking love in all the wrong places, there's a better way. And when I'm working with my clients, it really is about being of service to their heart. And I want you to have the love you want, the love you deserve. Yes, and that's the other part also, is if you go into a relationship, thank you, Gail, for posting that. If you don't know if the other is willing to work, you don't know if the other one is willing to work as hard as you are in the early days. So here's the thing. If you do the work yourself with a coach, hint, hint, and you get to clear out that stuff, your attraction mechanism, the magnetism you create, will attract the same thing that fits that. Polar opposite in terms of chemistry, so the masculine and feminine polarity, which I talk about in my work too, but also where the level you are attracting at matches the level that you'll attract to you. So if you have done the work yourself and your partner hasn't, well, you won't attract because you'll be at different levels. So there is benefit to this. It's not that you do the work and then you find somebody who doesn't do the work, because the truth is you should recognize, and you will recognize, that it's just chemistry and not real, I was going to say collision, wrong word, attraction at the heart level that's really honorable. So to recap a little bit, I realize I just jumped straight in, went way deep on this one. There are so many dating sites and apps and coaches out there who promise you finding you the one, the special one. Well, what does that mean to you, first of all? Does that mean the one you spend the rest of your life with, or you have an amazing year with? What's the difference? Because there is difference between that, obviously. For some people, it's just getting to the goal line and then you're done. It's like, well, then what's the rest of your life about? Is it partnership? Is it marriage? Is it a lifetime together? Or is it meant to be just, I've got there now, and now what do I do with it? So, as I said before, and so for those who are joining later, so you know, this is really about preparing yourself for that journey. And preparation means doing the work that you are evolving yourself and healing your patterns, your process, your journey when you're single, which is the best way to do it, actually. Because if you don't do it when you're single, it's going to happen when you're in a relationship, unless you bury it or hide it or ignore it. But that ends up causing things like illness and discord in your body and disease, because we bury the emotions, the mental, because our mind, by the way, this is a big piece, so you get this. Your mind, your mental capacity, your emotional capacity, and your physical experience are all tied together. So if you do not deal with the mental, emotional, I'll try that in English, wrong teeth in today. If you don't deal with the mental, emotional stuff, upsets, hurt feelings, past bad experiences, before you get into a relationship, if you stuff those when you're in a relationship, your body's going to react. Your physical experience is going to do something to correspond to that. So this is a warning to the wise. I mean, there are actually studies about this, that people who don't deal with their emotional baggage can cause physical harm to themselves, not by injuring themselves, but their body reacts to it. You know, the big C word. That happens for people. People have actually gotten really sick because they didn't deal with the emotional baggage. So, for your health, for your long-term relationship, for your future, I highly advise you to make sure when you're single to get help. In the sense of get counsel, get someone who sees you, feels you, and supports you. My work with my clients is about that. I'm not a dating coach. I'm not a matchmaker. And there are people out there that do that. And as long as they include what I'm talking about, then I honor them. But if their job is just to take your money and then spend like 10, 15 grand on them so they can find you a mate, but don't do the homework, besides the corresponding data of like the certain height, weight, color skin, where they live, they're doing a disservice to you and you're not being served. So my point is that do the work before you go looking for the one versus after you find the one. Because imagine this, what if you find your dream partner but you haven't done the work to meet them at their level? First of all, you probably they won't be attracted to you. Secondly is you're wasting your opportunity. So wouldn't it be better to actually be the one they want to be with as well? So that's my message. So when you're looking for the one, I might have to retitle this afterwards. I'm sitting with what the title should have been. If you are seeking love and really want to be in that perfect relationship, it's not about you'll be perfect when you get there. You do the work before you get there, so when you do arrive, it's like coming home to yourself. That is my work with my clients, and that's what I honor you and respect you to do, because you deserve that level of amazing, authentic relationship. And for most people, it isn't just a cakewalk. Sorry. We have history, we have experience from the past that influences our choices, and that's the other part, by the way. We are being run by programming that we didn't necessarily become aware of until recently. That was driven from our younger childhood. I've talked about this before. So I honor you and respect you, and also invite you to seek higher in your relationship choices, to seek higher in your love life by doing the work on yourself when you're single, so you're prepared for the expedition into relationship. There's my message. So that's it for today. That was just, it was on my mind, it was bugging me, so I wanted to talk about it. So thank you for listening to my verbal spiel as it wanted to come out. And as I always tell my clients, take care of yourself and love yourself more today than you did yesterday. It will change your life. And if you want to find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter, find me on my website, and I'll be there to help you. Take care.